signature is the most important thing in photography, the most essential thing you have to understand in order for your work to be able to rise from mere snapshots to artwork. The most misunderstood aspect of photography. Welcome to the channel. A signature or a style are what makes your best work instantly recognizable by others, even without the ugly gigantic watermark smack in the center of each picture. Please note my wording, your best work. Work, because signature is something related to artworks, so a sculptor, a writer, a painter, and naturally a photographer will all have one. Best, because it is what defines your work as its best. No, this is not a circular argument. A signature emerges when your inner voice, yourself, with a capital letter, finds its way into what you're making. Everyone takes crappy pictures. The ratio for the masters is just a better skewed toward their signature, and/or they are better at editing. Like everyone else that has been doing this for a while, I think I have one, I hope I have one, but recognizing your own signature is probably the most difficult thing you will ever have to do as a photographer. It is literally finding yourself, what moves you to take the pictures you take, tell the stories you tell, and how you tell them. But first, thank you for joining me today. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more photography tips, tricks, and education. No matter how hard it is to find a signature in your own images, recognizing it or noting its absence in other people's works is a snap. So you might well be thinking something along the lines of, what is he talking about? His work is crap and his subjects are all over the place. How can you think to have a signature? And that will be fine. I will not be able to contradict you. A signature has to be recognized by others, by definition. If you think to have one, but you cannot make others see it, you're probably making something wrong. Maybe even something as trivial as talking to the wrong audience. For example, maybe you're trying to win contests with subtle images. Wrong. You have to scream to be heard in a crowd. Or you're trying to elicit likes with images that are not about artsy-fartsy fake filters. Just don't confuse the presence or absence of a signature in someone's work with you liking it or disliking it. An example, I don't particularly like Henri Cartier-Bresson's work. I know heresy, but the guy sure had a strong style. And no, it wasn't just shooting kids and people in the streets, even if this was certainly an element of it. A signature is by far the most misunderstood thing in photography. Often I watch video seminars in which world-famous photographers talk about the craft and show their pictures to support the argument they are making. Lately, the argument of these talks happen to be how to find your own style, your own signature. In these particular occasions, I was often left aghast, and no, I will not name names, because with many of these world-famous, I repeat, world-famous photographers, it happened at one of these three things. Their images were all over the place, with marvelous pieces swamped among pictures of their children or their cats. 2, they didn't have a clue of what a signature is. 3, they tried to express the concept in a new age mambo-jumbo to cover it up. 4, their images, their portfolios were awful, big time. Number 1, less troubling. It is basically a matter of good editing, to be able to separate the chaff from the rest of the images. Even though you might be forgiven to think that in order to rise at such a high level, you should have learned by now how to edit your work. Remember, these are folks that have literally millions of Instagram, Facebook, and whatever followers, they earn big bucks, etc. Number 2 is much more troubling, and not surprisingly, happened more frequently with photographers that didn't actually have a signature. To give you but an example, one of them was convinced that their signature was having leading lines in their pictures. Roads, railroads, rivers. Sorry, that's not a signature. That's a cliché. It will be saying that Wim Wender's signatures as a photographer is the use of panoramic format. Guess what? He could be taking circular cropped pictures and they will be still instantly recognizable as is. Number 3 is just playing hide and seek, I think. You don't have a clue of what you're talking about, but someone's paying you a lot of money for you to do it. So you deceive your audience, starting to talk about divine spark, cosmic brothership and stuff. If you're doing this at a photo club, maybe I can excuse you, but if you're teaching, shame on you. And now to number 4. I know just said that recognizing a signature has nothing to do with you liking or not other people's work. But, and this is a big but, we are so good at recognizing signatures in pictures taken by others as we are recognizing cliches in their work and not in our own, unfortunately. And with some of this, sorry I can't help myself, but I still can't wrap my head around it. World famous photographer, what they showed in their portfolio was a giant collection of cliches. Beaches and sunset with wet rocks in the foreground, piers going into lakes, random people walking on the streets. Don't get me wrong, everyone shoots cliches, but they are to be treated a bit like salt. The trick is measuring the right amount. A little bit will add taste, in this case ease of recognition for the message you are trying to convey. Too much and the dish will be inedible. What is a signature? Maybe we can use the Wim Wenders example I made earlier to better explain what does it mean to have a signature. Yes, Wim Wenders images are mostly panoramic images, but the main leitmotif of Wenders' work is the sense of loneliness they emanate, the vastness of the spaces, the sense of adventure and of stillness and impending doom, impending actions, like something was about to happen but it never will. Perhaps not so surprisingly, given Wenders' day job, his pictures look like, but are not, movie sets from which the actors have just about stepped out, and to which they're about to return. Again, this is true if he shoots in panoramic format, in square format, color, black and white. Besides, we all know that one era crop is the next one art. It happened to Piero della Francesca, the Impressionist, the Cubist, and so on. And it will happen again. And I know I'm no one compared to said world-famous photographers that they have over 1 million followers, etc. I probably hit 3,000 in a good month. But let me be clear about something. This is not a case of, I don't like Picasso, I could have drawn that myself. There is a difference between bad art with a purpose and bad art, period. Wanna guess what the difference is? Intention. It's one thing if you do bad art to pass a message or as a conscious choice. It is something else if you're just showing the 10,000th picture of a beach at sunset with wet rocks in the foreground. Just think to Martin Parr's pictures. They superficially resemble a snapshot your grandma could have taken. Still, his shot exudes personality and reveals signature loud and clear. My guess is that even if you don't particularly like his work, you still recognize he has a style. So you may well be thinking that I'm badly mistaken or just envious of these world-famous pros. Of the money they make? You bet. Of the pictures they show? Not so much. But I think my reasoning should be sound nonetheless, because if I and you can recognize and appreciate the style and the work of many masters of photography, this means that you and I can also recognize who is a master of nothing. And let me get this straight, I don't pretend to teach others a magic bullet how to find their signature. I'm still struggling to define my own. And if I'm right, it's a kind of struggle that you will have to fight every day for the rest of your career, because, surprise, a style of a signature will change, will evolve with you, who you are and where you are in your life. I can just share my personal recipe to find one in 5 not so easy steps. How to find a signature. First, look at the work of artists you like, not just photographers, but painters, musicians, etc. Ask yourselves questions about it. What you like and dislike, how you recognize it's their work and not someone else's. When you're not doing one or two, go out and shoot. Cull like a madman your own work. It's called editing. Go back to point 1 and start again. Finding a signature is not a destination, it's more like a journey. You will change, your life will evolve in unexpected ways and will change your perspective. Your taste will change the more you practice your craft. The more images you study, the more other photographers innovate their craft. So don't get discouraged. Like many journeys, the earlier you start, the better. So practice, 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 and be true to yourself. always. I will see you next time, and you might be interested in watching this video here. Happy pictures!